Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another chat show. This is Chakra Incognita on behalf of Spirit Spiral Healing, and we have a very special guest today, whom many of you are familiar with. She is the lovely and amazing Sridevi Datta, who is a wonderful healer and what shall I call you, Sri? What do you want to call yourself in one word?
Curious cat.
Curious cat. That's it. Is your cat in the room? Can we meet your cat also at the session?
No, I've closed the door today because
Close the
there are
door.
other noises filtering in,
Okay.
So I don't know if someone opens the door and he just
Walks in.
sneaks in. Yeah,
Then we
whatever.
have an additional guest on our show.
Oh, yeah.
That would be lovely because I love cats, but maybe some cat phobic members of the audience would not enjoy. So let us be very
Yeah.
nice. So, where shall we start, Shri? Ask me a question.
So first of all, Chakra, thank you for that lovely introduction. That was so heartwarming. And a big hello to whoever is watching. And I'm really feeling excited about this, And although we are in a virtual space, I feel I'm really sitting across you and we are chatting over a warm cup of tea,
Oh, that looks nice.
Yes.
So, what would you like to ask me first?
So, what would I like to ask you first? I keep seeing these posts on FB, right? And I see how you play around with words, right? It's like literally each word is, I mean, I sense it that way for you, I sense that, you treat each word like uh, some landscape you're exploring, or perhaps it could be a forest, a mountain, or a tide pool, whatever it is, and how mm, I'm fascinated by all of that. I'm fascinated because language, I know, plays a major role in how, I mean, it is one of the pieces that plays a major role in how we represent our inner worlds. So I'm just fascinated, and I uh, want to ask you, Chakra, like, what makes you curious about these words, or to play around with them in
Well,
such a playful manner?
okay, I think some of this comes from my background, my
Yeah.
family background, in the sense
Mm.
we had a way of gathering as a family and talking. And
Mm.
our conversations were very spontaneous. It's not, it's not something structured. We didn't sit
Yeah.
down and say, okay, today we are going to discuss this topic, or today we are going
Mm.
to read about this. So,
Yeah.
like, while we would be doing some work, my mother would be
Mm.
doing something, I'd be doing something, my father would be reading in another room, and he'd
Yeah.
suddenly call out, you ladies have to listen to this. Walking. And he'd
Yeah.
read a piece from somewhere, and we would all drop what we were doing and we would listen. And then we would pick up the words he read and we would start playing with them. And when my
Mm.
brother was around, he too would pick up some words and he would start building on them and spinning his own meanings out of sometimes some very way out meanings. So, what we would do is really, as a family, we kept freewheeling all the time.
Mm.
We took words, ideas, concepts beyond their limits,
Yeah.
beyond their conventional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this sort of became a way of life. And
Mm.
when we were thoughtless or rough or rude or whatever, my mother in particular would draw our attention to the way we phrased something.
Hmm.
Even when we, when we came home with an exercise from school, and schools have
Hmm.
a very rigid way of how you should write something.
Oh, yeah.
Think that was anathema to me, but then, we had to do as we were told, or we were kind of
Yeah.
ostracized. So
Yeah.
the part of me that had to deliver as expected,
Hmm. Hmm.
so that
Hmm.
I could get by in life, in that linear process.
Yeah.
But there was another part of my life which my parents took care of at home.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
part where we could be free thinkers.
Yeah.
And we have grown up with words. Words
Yeah.
represent ideas.
Yeah.
And words are so sadly constrained by certain limits and
Yeah.
limitations. And at the same time, words are used so carelessly beyond any nuance or any
Oh,
relevant
yeah.
meaning,
Yeah.
distorted into forms that have absolutely nothing to do with what the word was made to convey.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
one of these things that always sort of this idea that always spoke to me was, in the beginning there was nothing.
Hmm.
Came the word. So
Yeah. Oh, that
that's
is
a,
so
sort of,
powerful.
that's a sort of a light bulb. I don't know what the actual quote is. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's different in different concept, in
Yeah.
different schools of thought. But what is a word? It's a sound. What
Yeah.
do you start with? Actually, you start with a sound. A word
Yeah.
made up of sounds, right?
Yeah.
And those,
And yeah.
yes, tell me.
I'm sorry. Did
No, it's
I,
okay.
I just wanted to chip in,
Yes, please do.
like as I was listening to you,
Mm,
uh, like people who are in this writing business or who are public speakers or who are into this, that they have to play around with words. They just see words as eloquent or non-eloquent, right? And there is this mm, binary division of the world of words. But as I was listening to you, Chakra, when you shared, how as a family you would play around with words, right? Your mom doing something, your father doing, and he would call over, and you siblings would just play around with words, spinning it. I'm also hearing a lot of relationshiping or tending with care or communing, which so the word which we hold or which we listen, it has so much of soil, soil of love and care and warmth, and the sound is that of love, right? And all of that is happening around the
mhm,
word.
mhm. So a word carries echoes.
Yeah,
And
echoes.
we had this idea, like we, you haven't visited Calcutta, have you?
No, I
Not at
haven't.
all. You must. Well, there's, the
I
famous
must.
Victoria Memorial Monument.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yes.
What is my Zoom doing? Oh, are you
Yeah,
getting?
there it's shaking. It's the picture is shaking a bit.
God, should
Uh,
I turn it off?
oh, it is getting recorded, Chakra.
Well, let me just turn it off briefly and go with only the sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I've just turned off the camera. You can't see me now, right?
No, I cannot see you. I can see your profile pic.
Okay, then I'll just talk for a bit and then we'll switch it on again and see what it does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let us
Internet is
just
very
play around.
unpredictable, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad it's there at all because last week it packed up on me, and
Ah, okay.
I had to use a lot of words as we are on the subject of word. I had to use words
Yeah, yeah,
in a very complex and nuanced way to make my point across to the broadband
yeah.
transmitter as to exactly what I was going through and in what way I was suffering. And I think I
Ah,
used my words very effectively with that gentleman. Because
ah,
before he
lovely.
could say Jack Robinson, everything was up and working.
Mm-mm-mm.
And he really got the point. He got the point because it was conveyed in a way that he could capture it.
Ah,
I was
yeah, and
strong,
that is, yeah,
I was clear, and I was not harsh.
yeah.
It's very easy to lose your temper at these people
Oh, yeah, yeah,
because we are angry. But then what do? I think we pause, we breathe, we reflect, and we say words
yeah.
spoken in anger. And you see, this is one of the things my mother would come to. She would,
Hmm.
I will say it in, I would say it in Tamil, and I'll translate it for you. It's called
Yeah, yeah.
Valayala Polladu.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
means wicked through your words, wicked through your speech.
Ah, okay.
So you see your words carelessly or wrongly used, or even your words misplaced, taken out of
Mm.
context. They can do great harm.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
one
yes.
innocent word. See, a word innocent,
Yeah,
you can use that word innocent in a good way. You can
yeah,
also use that word innocent with many negative implications.
yes.
And it is in the tone. So, as I say, the sounding of words, something
Yeah.
something we completely lose when we go into the text mode is that
Mm.
once you get from the way
Yeah,
a word is sounded, the way a word is pronounced,
yeah,
and the tone, the placement, the spaces
yeah,
around it, everything matters.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there is a whole lot of different information that seeps in when you uh, listen to the words, right? And when you're sitting face to face and talking, that lends another dimension
Exactly.
because it brings so many more contexts. But if you just read a piece of text, that is different. That is very different. And
It takes a lot of
yeah,
imagination to read a piece
yeah,
of text and to actually make sense of what it is trying to convey,
yes,
in whose
yes,
voice it is, where that text
yeah,
is placed.
yeah,
And you used the word context, and
yeah,
I've heard you use this word context a lot, especially
yeah, yeah,
your recent posts and your recent work. And I think the
yeah,
word context is very, very important. And there's
yeah.
another word I associate with you, which is
Mm-hmm.
linguistic, because your
Uh,
field of
another,
specialization is neuro-linguistic programming. That is one thing that you have done.
yeah,
So the word linguistic in that appeals to me.
yeah,
The word out
yeah,
of the three words, the word that appeals to me most is linguistic.
yes,
Leave the neuro
linguistic.
and leave the programming. I'm looking only at.
Yes,
And as you
yes.
ask me, what is this about words that I am so much into? It is, I think,
Mm,
my word passion went to a different level when my
mm,
mother decided to take up a course at
mm-hmm,
the Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages in Hyderabad.
mm. Oh,
She
okay,
went
okay.
in for a 1 year long distance course. Those were the days
Mm-hmm.
of distance learning in a very different format.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there was something periodically happening called a contact program.
Okay,
So the participants had to meet in person in one place and then they had
mm,
some work to do together. But the rest of
okay,
the time, they received their material by post. Those days,
okay.
practically all you had was post.
Yes,
We didn't even have a major concept of Xeroxing. You know,
yes.
it was 1979. The world
Ah,
was
okay.
just changing. IT was
Yeah.
just putting one little toe in through the door, so to say, into the
Mm,
public consciousness.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's when I picked the subject also information theory and cybernetics as my specialty.
Ah,
There's a
yes.
coincidence there. And right then she went in for this course. And she went in for this course encouraged by me and my father. Because you see, she never got down to formally being an English teacher, which really she was cut out to be. And she has informally taught English to many people. And she
Yeah.
also very fluent in, very well versed in Tamil, and she would lead me to many nuances of expression in Tamil, which maybe are lost on people. So I am
Yeah.
not very good in the language in that sense, but like 16 years without her. Shri, today it's been exactly 16 years since my mother left this house. And my last meaningful conversation with her was on this day 16 years ago. So today is
that
also a
is,
very important personal day, a day of memory for me,
yes,
a day
yes,
of
Chakra.
reflection. And reflection is
Yeah.
another word that my mother loved.
Yeah.
So you see,
Yeah.
she indicated to me when she left this world, which was
Mm-hmm.
in a sense on this very day, though she actually left her body a whole week later. She
Mm-hmm.
had a terrible turmoil in that interim period in a hospital and was not coherent.
Oh, okay.
She left a few words for me.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I have never really shared these publicly. But these, I'm in her honor, I'm sharing them today. And the words were subliminal, sensory, and sensuous.
Subliminal, sensory, and sensuous.
A few hours before she was leaving, she said, "Get your writing pad, write these words down. These words will help you in the future. Pay attention to them." I wrote these words down and I forgot the middle one.
Okay.
And I lost the paper also somewhere. Subliminal and sensuous always stayed with me. And she said, remember, sensuous and sensual are two different things. Don't confuse.
Yeah.
She used to teach me these, difference
Oh,
between words. She used to draw my attention to this. And when somebody used a word carelessly, she would point that out, saying that you can totally alter the meaning. You can alter the whole conversation with one word that is inappropriate,
yeah.
used in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Even a good word, like even the correct word in the wrong place. So really,
Yeah.
there are many streams that flowed into this word obsession that I have now. And I feel that we can do so much with word power, so much more than what a writer or, a motivational speaker or a coach,
Yes.
any of those conventional people have a very restrictive definition of what you can do. And mostly when I listen to them or read what they write, I say, so what's the deal here? What's it that I don't know that they are telling me? Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when I saw you, I saw like we have known each other almost 10 years, right? Or a little
Yes. 10 years. Yes. Yeah.
And my first association with you was Lighthouse.
Yeah.
You came into my
Yeah.
life as a lighthouse.
Oh,
And when you see a lighthouse, there are no binaries there.
no.
It brightens, it dims, it takes its light around in a circle, in a sphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That light is really, what is it? It's not a line, is it? Nor is it
Yeah.
a point. There is
Yeah.
so much more to what a lighthouse does.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had a lighthouse passion. You may recall I had been to Mamalapuram and I had written about
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
and you had responded to that. And then I came
Yeah.
to know that you are a mariner's wife. And then I came to know more about your background. So
Yeah.
I saw something in you which was about soft power. Whether it is light or it is water.
Yeah.
They can be harsh. At the same
Yeah.
time, they can be soft. And
Yeah.
between the two,
Yeah.
you have something called soft power.
Ah.
You see what I mean? The power that waves have,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
power that
Yeah.
light has, the power that light has to heal, or the
Yeah.
power that maybe it also has the power to destroy, which I've noticed, when I speak, like
Yes.
coming back to the word sensory, like harsh lighting, it gives me this
Oh,
overload.
yes.
I keep talking
Yeah.
about this all the time and I react very badly to this. So,
Yes.
in fact, I don't
Yeah.
even know what our conversation is about right now. You see, we have started with a word and we are freewheeling into so many topics. And I wonder
Yes.
what our audience is thinking of us at this point.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope they are
Yeah.
going with the flow and they are with us. If you know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe we
Yes.
will bring our audience back to some kind of a structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I would like
Yeah.
to ask you this one question that
Yes.
you are somebody who has created and co-created different
Mm-hmm.
ways of doing things, which are in
Mm-hmm.
a sense all your own. But as you
Mm-hmm.
know, nothing in the universe is all our own. Everything
Oh,
we
yes.
create is taken from
Yes.
parts of something which is anyway available to us in the whole. And that is
Yes.
what I call the creative resource outside
Yes.
and inside us.
Oh, yes.
The concept of healing through creative resources, which many people are asking me, what does it mean?
Mm.
And this is what I mean by the creative resource. So
Mm-hmm.
I have noticed that what you do is basically like you explore many new methods.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah.
I see you, in fact, you are creating a new paradigm. You
Mm-hmm.
may be what people think of as a psychologist or a therapist or a coach. I don't
Mm.
know which one of these you identify with the most, but
Yeah.
I think of you as a healer. And I think
Yeah.
of a healer and healing as something to do
Mm.
with wholeness.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
wholeness is inherent in the part.
Yeah.
Every part
Yes.
reflects the whole. The essence of the whole is there in the part. So even
Yes.
when you think you are broken, you see,
Mm-hmm.
you are in a state of undoing and redoing, unlearning and relearning. And
Yeah.
this is a continuous process within any entity, any living,
Yes.
any
Yes.
being, anything in the universe. Do you?
Yes.
So I want your thoughts on this, that you are
Mm-hmm.
doing something innovative and
Mm-hmm.
you are doing this very gently, as in you are not coming down with a hammer on people saying, okay, this is the way to go. But you're very
Yeah.
gently, as water would wear a stone, water would create
Ah,
paths when
yes.
water flows down a certain course, and it does this in a recurring manner.
Yeah.
You see, water is soft
Yeah.
power, and yet water somehow or other creates a trail over that stone. It leaves
Yes.
a mark on that stone.
Yes.
And the way you work reminds me a lot of that. In the way you
Ah,
draw people together, to ask people to draw their thoughts together, to play
yeah.
around with their thoughts. You even have a workshop called Let Us Play, if I remember.
Yeah. Yes. Now
I
let
don't
us
know if
play.
you still
Yes.
have that
No,
workshop.
no. I still
It was,
have that.
I think it was taken from NLP, Neuro-Linguistic
Yes.
Programming, which sounds
Yes. We
kind of,
played around it.
and that
We
is
played
really,
around with that.
yes, and really that is actually what that is doing. You are actually playing
Yes.
with the pieces inside yourself, right? That is what neuro
Yes.
programming does. It's just that it makes the connection with areas of the brain which are operative in this. Hence the word neuro. And
Yes.
programming as in this alteration, unlearning, relearning. which is
Yes.
really, I mean, if you come down to the digital metaphor, you would call it programming. As I come from an IT background, I can see where
Yeah.
programming comes from. But when you say, now let us play, it
Yeah.
actually conveys the meaning of what we are doing.
Yes, Chakra.
This is what I love
Yes.
about it. Now, my
Yeah.
question for you here is, how does one
Mhm.
gain acceptance for something that has never been done before in this manner?
Yes.
This is my
Ah,
biggest challenge in my own work.
yeah. And thank you for that question, Chakra. Thank you for that question. Like, how do you gain acceptance for something that has not been done, right?
Mm,
Uh, so before we get to it, I just want to share a few thoughts, right, on healing, coaching, therapy. Yeah. So since I have been in this field for almost 6 years now,
mm,
yeah, uh, what I have observed is in the course of working with clients, right?
mm,
The therapists or the coaches, they get so fixated on these powerful breakthroughs for their clients,
mm, 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 mm,
right? Uh, and it is almost a struggle, right? The client or the coachee who is sitting there,
mm,
he or she or they,
mm, mm.
they're very complex, or you said wholesome beings. They're not isolated. Their identity
Wholesome,
is not,
wholesome. Yes, that's
yes, their identity is not just that of someone who is facing a challenge at the
mm,
time. It's
mm,
much more diverse than that, right?
mm,
And so they would get fixated on getting these breakthroughs. So
mm.
there are two things happening there. The entire relationship landscape or the ecology of the client or the coachee is just deleted in the process, right? And you're just
Mm,
seeing that person as an issue or a process,
mm,
right? Whereas
mm,
Chakra, who is sitting here,
mm,
she is a diverse forest in herself, right? She's not just a tree or a leaf or a whatever, right? And this forest comes because she is in relationship with her mother, she's communing with her mother, she is communing with so many young people, and all of these make you who you are at this moment. And so when the coach or the therapist, they get fixated on these breakthroughs, they make it all about themselves. It is no longer about helping the client or the coachee.
ah,
The
mm, mm,
it is a power dynamic, or an, you know, in that sense, I did not want to get into that nonsense, right?
That's,
Uh,
thank you for saying it.
yeah,
Because if I say it, people will ask me, how are you exactly qualified to say this? You see, I'm somebody who is practicing an art. And I tell you very
yeah,
clearly, it is an art. I am not any kind of a mental health practitioner. I'm doing
yeah.
something which is beyond that boundary.
Yes, thank you for saying that, beyond that boundary, because the so-called mental health, or who get these glowing degrees from the universities,
Mm,
in other words, they have just molded themselves into that familiar narrative. There is that lack of curiosity, that lack of sniffing, that lack of play, right? Change happens when you play around, right? Play
exactly.
around with the what is happening with whoever is there, whatever is happening. It's not an individual play, right? When I'm playing, I have to step out in the mud. My feet will get heavy after some time,
Mm,
right? My limbs will start to ache. And then there would be this frustration, perhaps, that would creep in. And there would be so much of engaging with the elements that happens, right? So play is not always pretty, but
no,
it's being present to the moment. It's engaging. It's communing.
play is not
It's
pretty.
staying with the, yeah, staying with the mess, right? it's staying with the pains or whatever it is. And it's a very, like, you're literally becoming a forest dweller, you know?
And you are becoming the forest.
Yes, and a forest. Thank you. Yes.
So you are part of the forest. A forest dweller is
Yes.
part and parcel of the forest.
Yes. Yeah, you
And
cannot,
the forest
if,
is part of them. So
yes. Yeah. I mean, you can inhale that fragrance of the forest on a forest dweller's skin,
yes,
right?
you know, it brings me to a song by Moody,
Yeah.
which used to fascinate me when I was in school. And the line,
Yeah.
don't be alarmed by my fields and my forests. They are
Ah,
here only for you to share.
yeah. Ah,
Oh, yes, those lines have stayed with me. They've stayed in my head somehow all these years.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what you said about forests, and lately I've been seeing you talk a lot about forests. A
Oh,
lot.
yeah. That has become my, I don't know,
uh,
some
I was
metaphor. Yeah.
you see, because a forest is a very complex ecosystem.
Yes.
It has everything in it,
Yes.
so layered.
So
I
layered.
mean, think of one of those virgin forests where humans have not interfered.
Hmm.
We were to go there, I mean, the tribals who belong there, they are totally blessed
Yeah.
with that ecosystem. They are part.
Yes.
Whereas
That part of the,
we go in to plunder. We only go in to fulfill our linear narrative. What can I get out of this forest?
yes. What
That's all
can I
we
get
want
out
from
of
anything. What
this
can I
forest?
get
How
out of
can I
this?
monetize this forest? What will I get out of this
Exactly.
forest? And I realize such narratives, uh they don't do well for communities, right? Communities collapse, systems collapse. I mean, like, there is isolation that happens. Like,
Yes.
people who think they're evolved somehow isolate themselves, right? And from the people whom they think they're not as woke as them or whatever. So there is
Yesterday
this
I was talking
constant,
about woke on Facebook.
yeah, I think I remember that
A lot
post.
of difference between that, you know, narrow narrative of woke and actually a process of organic process
Yes.
of waking, awakening. We slumber at
Yes.
night and we wake, we
Yeah.
rise.
Yeah.
Many phases to this.
Yeah. Because awakening is not just woke up, right? It's like,
Right, right. Today's
it's
idea
like,
of awakening is the alarm rings and you jump out of bed and you think, okay, 9 o'clock is office.
yeah.
That's the narrative. Unfortunately, we can change that.
Yeah.
We need to
Yes.
change that narrative.
Yes.
Whatever work we do, you know, even if we are compelled to do it to bring food to the table, there is a creative way of doing it. There
Yeah.
is a creative, there is a way you can alter your relationship with it. And by that, that's what I mean
Yes.
by unlearning, relearning, therefore healing.
Yes.
That's what I mean by
Yes.
healing.
Yes.
Healing is not about disease. Nothing is disease.
No.
No disease.
Yes.
There is no disease. It is just part
There
of
is,
the natural process.
yeah.
You create, you destroy, you create, you destroy. I had
Yeah.
even put out a question on creative destruction on my blog, if you recall. And
Yes. Yes. I
people have also
recall.
responded to what they think creative destruction to be. And I always think of that one metaphor during pujo, you know, when the
Hmm.
special mud is taken from the Ganges and it's molded into the most marvelous works of art.
Yeah.
And those works of art go
Yeah.
right back and dissolve in the mud. And that metaphor has
Yes.
always, that metaphor has been with me ever since the loss of my mother.
Ah.
It's been a very
Yeah.
powerful part of, because I remember when I gave my mother her final send off, how
Hmm.
there was a mud flat between me and the water because there was low.
Hmm.
And I could not, and there could be quicksands in that. So I could not have walked across with the urn. And again, the
Mm,
urn, the ashes, which I
mm,
carried. That is all,
yeah.
mud,
Yes.
stardust,
Yes.
call it whatever you
Yeah.
will, but there was a beautiful creation out of it. And that beautiful
Yes.
creation has gone back into nature in the end. And the whole moment
Yes.
was profound. And the person who had to do these rites for me in the end was a kind
Mm,
human,
mhm,
volunteered to do it, saying that you won't be able to walk across the mud flat.
mm,
I will carry it for you.
yeah. Ah,
So you see how we are all interconnected.
yes.
This for me. And I
Yeah.
sat
How we
there
are
on
all.
the shore with the mud flat between me and the Ganges, watching
Yeah.
the urn slowly float away into the distance. It was a
Oh,
profound moment.
oh, yeah.
And I think
Thank you. Thank you
I
for
think this is a
sharing that,
little deep.
Chakra.
I did not think our chat would go to this deep level, but somehow you have.
Yes.
But then healing is deep, right? We
Yeah.
cannot
I
stay
mean,
in the
healing,
surface
if
and
it
hope
is,
to
yeah,
heal. If it is real healing,
yeah, it is deep, it is intense, it is,
yes. And I
I
had to
mean,
be
like,
creative. I had to be creative also
yes,
to do this.
yes,
How could I have done it otherwise?
yes,
In a sense,
yeah,
I offloaded my karma to another person who came up to pick it up.
yeah,
If this makes any sense to people.
yeah,
I'm sorry, this got very personal and intimate because I think this is the day we chose happens to coincide with it.
yes,
And I think
yes.
Zoom is going to send us away. So maybe we should ourselves gracefully go out, have a tea break, and come back in.
Okay,
We can
okay,
come
yeah,
back in 10
remaining
minutes.
meeting time, 1 minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So to the
So we'll,
audience, we will be back after a break, and we promise we'll lighten up the conversation a little because it's got a little deep here. So
yeah,
Sridevi, I'll see you in 10 minutes then.
yes, see you, Chakra. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, okay, bye.